What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where we talk all things money, real estate, and entrepreneurship. And in today's episode, I'm going to go over what materials we use in every single flips so that we can put out a great product but maximize profits. If this is your first time at my channel, welcome. My name is Ryan Pineda. We've been consistently flipping over 100 homes a year for the last 3 years now. And during that time, we've developed systems that have allowed us to do that. And one of those systems involved me creating what I call my contractor's guide. Basically, we give this guide to every single contractor before they ever do a job. It details what colors we use, what finishes we use, what flooring, what counters, what everything. It also details where to go get them so there's no discrepancy on how much they should cost. By giving a contractor this guide, it causes much less confusion and it allows us to have to make less decisions. We're not constantly telling people what we want, it's right there in the guide. Before we made that guide, we were always talking to contractors and having to tell them exactly what we wanted. And then all of a sudden, the showers would be different from one house to another. The flooring would be different, the paint would be different, and that's not what I was looking for. I was looking to create a streamlined product of every single house looking the exact same. Now, some of you might be saying, well, that's not good. You don't want all your houses to look like one another. People won't like it. When you're flipping in the entry-level price point, you want to create this streamlined process so you're not having to make a decision on each and every house. I know that HGTV makes it seem like every single house is different and you got to create something for that specific house, but it's not true when you're doing volume. I'm not gonna go create 100 different schemes on the same exact house that I'm always getting. That makes no sense. And especially when you already have a proven scheme that sells for top dollar, why would you ever switch it up? So through trial and error, we created this guide and it has made our lives so much easier for flipping. Now let me add two things to that. The first is, this does not work for luxury. If we were flipping luxury, which we do occasionally, yes, that has to go custom. This guide will not work for that because they're gonna be totally different finishes than our entry-level homes. The second thing you're probably wondering is, can I have that guide? And the answer is yes and no. The guide is proprietary, but we do give it to our students in my coaching program. And if you're interested in learning more about the coaching program, you can find it in the link below or go to futureflipper.com. Included in the coaching program is way more than that guide. I'm not gonna talk about it right now, but if you stay with me till the end, we'll talk about that a little more. But regardless of if you have the guide or not, I still wanna tell you about some of the things we're doing in every single flip that's helping us get maximum value. And I think this is gonna apply to many markets, so make sure you're paying attention. Specifically, I'm gonna go over the main finishes in a home. Now look, a home has a lot of different finishes and you could break it down into each and everything like I do in my guide, but in this video, I wanna go over the main ones that are gonna make the difference. So first off, let's talk about flooring. Right now, we are using what's called LVT in all of our flips. And LVT stands for luxury vinyl tile. And I'll tell you, when I first heard about LVT, I was like, oh, vinyl? We don't wanna put vinyl in our homes, that's kinda cheap. When I actually understood what it was, I realized, man, this stuff is really cool. In fact, it's so cool that I have it in my own personal house right now. The LVT we use looks like laminate or wood, but it's actually better because it's much more durable. LVT is much stronger, it's more resistant to scratches, it does not warp because it's waterproof. There's a lot of pluses to it. And just like any flooring, you can get cheap ones or you can get expensive ones. You can say I want tile flooring, but there's tile you can get for 60 cents and there's tile you can get for $20. So for flips, we're not using super expensive LVT. The LVT we use, we can typically get anywhere from $1.60 to $2 a square foot. The other cool thing with LVT is a pad is already attached to them. When you get laminate flooring or wood flooring, you gotta also buy a cushion with the flooring. So for the most part, we're using LVT in all of the main areas, and then we'll use carpet in all the bedrooms. Carpet's gonna be cheaper than LVT, and most people expect carpets in bedrooms anyway. So there's no reason to spend the extra money putting LVT in bedrooms when you don't have to. It's not gonna really add too much value to the home, and the people may not even want it. As far as color goes, we're typically using a light brown LVT. It looks really good whether you have a brown wall or a gray wall. It's kind of that look that's in style right now. Occasionally, if they're out of stock on the LVT we like, we'll end up going with a gray LVT. All right, next thing, let's talk about the kitchen. As far as cabinets go, we are always using shaker cabinets. Shaker cabinets have been in style for a while, and I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did. And until people stop buying them, we're just gonna keep putting them in homes. In your city, I'm sure there are wholesale cabinet companies and they can sell them at really cheap rates. You should never really buy cabinets from Home Depot or these places because number one, they're worse quality, but number two, they're more expensive. Go to cabinet-only stores, specifically wholesale cabinets. As far as colors go, we typically are going with white shakers. They're what's in style, they're the cheapest, but sometimes we'll go that dark espresso. It really just depends on the neighborhood. See, with us, we have two different schemes. We've got what we call our brown scheme and then our white and gray scheme. The white and gray is what it sounds like. It's white and gray pretty much. You guys can picture what that scheme looks like. Our brown scheme is really similar, except we're using espresso cabinets and the exterior is gonna be brown. And we just decide based on the neighborhood for which scheme we're gonna use. For countertops, we used granite for a really long time, and then granite started to go out of style. So we've changed from granite to quartz. And the thing with quartz is, in some cases, it's actually cheaper than granite. And quartz is very similar to LVT in that it's synthetic. Because it's man-made, it's actually stronger than granite. And typically we'll get a white quartz or a gray quartz. Sometimes they got little sparkles in them, sometimes they got veining in them, sometimes they're just flat white. In the end, if you get a white shaker cabinet and you get a white quartz, no matter if it has veins or sparkles or it's flat, it's gonna look good. So we will put the quartz in the kitchens. We'll also put them in the bathrooms. It makes it look really nice. Another big thing to keep in mind is we always go undermount sinks. If you don't know, there's called undermount and overmount. Overmount is when you can see the sink above the counter. The metal is showing. Undermount is when it's under and then it has the edges of the counter right there. So undermount costs a little bit more, but not much. And I can tell you it makes the difference to the buyer. Now we've talked about cabinets, we've talked about sinks, we've talked about counters. Let's talk about the bathroom now. The bathroom has all of those things in the vanity, so we keep that the same as what's in the kitchen. We want everything to be uniform throughout the house. As far as the flooring in the showers go, we are always going tile. So we'll get a nice tile flooring in the bathroom and we'll typically use that same tile as a surround for the shower. On top of that, we'll add a little mosaic strip along the shower and a soap box with the mosaic. I think it just gives the shower a nice custom feel. I know flippers who like to just put the nice plastic showers in. Nothing wrong with that, but if you spend an extra $1,000 or $1,500 to make a nice tile shower, I think it adds the value that really makes it that wow factor. Now that being said, if a shower already has the plastic tub and it's in great shape, a lot of times we'll just leave it. There's no point to tear all that out, then re-tile it. But we'll never put a new plastic one in. We're always gonna tile it. And we're not using crazy expensive tiles. It's gonna be no more than $2 a foot. The beauty is there's so many great materials out there now that look amazing for cheap. You don't need to spend $10 a foot on a tile. You can get something that looks just as good, the buyer would have no idea, and it's only $2 a foot, especially when we're talking the entry-level price point. Now, as I said, when you're talking luxury, the game changes, but even at the luxury level, you can still get some nice discount tiles. I kind of touched on paint a little bit, but typically we're doing all gray walls for most of our houses. We used to do a lot of brown walls, but that went out of style. And what's interesting is white walls are coming back into style. You're starting to see the white baseboards, the white walls, and people are really liking it again. I remember before, you'd walk into a white walled house, and you'd be like, this sucks. Like, what are you gonna paint it? Is this the primer or what? So it's interesting to see that that's changing. And by the way, guys, if you're getting good value out of this, do me a big favor and go hit that like button. It helps more people find this channel. As far as appliances go, we are always using stainless steel. I don't think we've ever once put white or black appliances in a house. And for us, the package is always a stove, microwave, and dishwasher. We'll never put washer and dryer. We'll never put a fridge. They just don't add value to the home. You could put that stuff, but a buyer's not gonna pay you more for it. When you look at new builds, typically that's all they give as well. So even though we'd love to give the perfect house to the buyer, this is also a business. There's no reason to spend $2,000 on a fridge if you don't need to. And on top of that, the buyer may already have a fridge that they want. They may not like your side-by-side fridge that you put in. They may want a French door fridge. So don't put things that you don't need to. FHA loans do not require you to have a fridge. So that's why we only put the dishwasher, stove, and microwave, because FHA requires those things. Lastly, as far as landscaping goes, this is gonna vary market to market. Here in Las Vegas, we live in a desert, if you did not know. So rock and dirt is very common out here. I see in HGTV a lot of these flips in California, they're putting nice sod in the front yard and in the backyard. We've never done that. Buyers don't expect it here in Vegas, especially at the entry-level point. We're doing very minimal landscaping. The only time I'd consider doing heavy landscaping is on a luxury home, or if the home was on over a half an acre. But even then, if it's over half an acre, it's probably gonna be on the luxury side, so it kind of falls in the same category. But yes, we do not spend very much money on landscaping. If anything, we'll clean up the front yard, try and give it some curb appeal, and leave the backyard bare. And when you think about it, that's what the new builders do as well. They'll give you a front yard, backyard's just all dirt, you do what you want with it. That's kind of the same approach we take as well. And those those pretty much cover all the main materials in a house flip. Obviously, baseboards and hinges and doorknobs and all these other things can be added, but those things don't really add too much value. What adds value is what we just went over today. But as I said, this is the kind of stuff we talk about in my coaching program. We even go over it in my online course. We've got students all across the country, all the way from New Jersey to Hawaii, and I work hand in hand with them to help them build their businesses up in my coaching program. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely go click the link below or go to futureflipper.com to apply for it. I'd love to show you all the cool things that we're able to do and how we can help you grow your business. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you for watching this video. Do me a big favor, go hit that like button. If you haven't already, go hit the subscribe button. Go follow me on all the socials. And until next time, take care.